is that? It's like, oh, there's another tooth. There's more teeth! Mom, there's like,
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is part 2 of decluttering my parents' kitchen. So if you missed part 1, I definitely suggest that you watch that first to get the full effect of just how much stuff they're getting rid of. My parents have lived in this house for close to 40 years and it's become abundantly clear that it's never been decluttered. Every drawer and every cabinet was absolutely stuffed to the brim, some even falling off the walls with the weight of what was inside. But my parents really want to get it under control, so they've allowed me to come in and help them out and film the process. I'm going to share my step-by-step process to make decluttering easy, so hopefully you find this video not only motivational and entertaining, but helpful too. Right now, I'm just showing you guys some before clips of the areas that we will be decluttering today. These are all the cabinets and drawers that we did not get to last time, and spoiler alert, we still have a few cabinets to go even after day 2 of decluttering. Next time, we will be doing under the kitchen sink, my parents' pantry cabinet, and also the cabinets above their fridge. And then we'll be doing a super deep clean of the whole kitchen. To collect this much stuff took 37 years or so to get it all done in one day is just not realistic. So when you go into a big project like this and you might be feeling overwhelmed, just remember it's okay to take it one drawer at a time or one cabinet at a time. We spent a solid 5 hours going through cabinets this day and condensed it down to 26 minutes. So while this looks easy all sped up and edited, it is hard work and will take you a long time, so don't be hard on yourself if you can't do it all in one day. Whenever I do a declutter, I always go by the same formula. So I start by choosing the space I'd like to declutter. I then come up with my plan for it. I brainstorm what I'd like to keep in there going forward and how I can make sure it's functional. I then remove every single item from the space so I can see what I have, and I will give it a wipe down and a vacuum while it's empty. You'd be amazed how much dust and grime can collect underneath all the clutter. I go through each individual item and I ask myself a few questions. So 1, do I actually need this? 2, do I ever use this? And 3, how easily replaceable is this? I make my decision whether or not I need the item, and I'll either put it in my keep pile, my donation pile, or my trash pile. And then once I've gone through it all, I'll start putting things away, and while I'm doing that, I will think about what I want the organization system to look like in the space. If I need to add a bin or an acrylic container or drawer dividers, I will do that. And then I immediately drop the items I'm decluttering off wherever they need to go. That last step is so important because if you don't do it, you may find yourself putting all the items back where they came from over time and not actually parting with them. My step-by-step decluttering process is actually available to reference on my Xtiles template. If you have never heard of Xtiles before, I'm excited to share a little bit about them and partner with them on today's video. Xtiles is one of my key resources for keeping myself organized and on track. You can do it all on Xtiles. You can do note-taking, planning, collaborating with your team at work, or even friends or family. You can manage projects and you can access Xtiles on the go as well using their mobile app. I am a very scatterbrained person and I have to write everything down or I'll forget it, and that's one of the reasons why I like Xtiles, but I'll kind of share a little tour here of my Xtiles template for you guys and how I use it to organize my thoughts, my workload, and even my household. So first of all, we have my main page here. This is where I've got my decluttering step-by-step checklist that I refer back to if I'm ever feeling stuck. I've got my current big decluttering projects listed here that I'm working on, as well as some inspiration for my basement project. I also embedded a couple of my well-performing decluttering videos to refer back to and kind of reflect on what maybe helped those videos to perform for me. My next tab, I have a kind of master list of all the things we should be regularly decluttering from a space, organized by the area of my home all the way to digital clutter as well. And then I've got my weekly planner. I use this to keep track of my work and also to keep track of what's going on in my household on any given week. And finally, I have my inspiration tab here where I've just got some quotes to keep me in the right mindset and some photos of organized and decluttered spaces that I kind of aspire to recreate in my own home. I like to use Xtiles to plan out my decluttering projects. So for example, when I went to my mom's house, I followed my checklist from my template and I shared it with her as well so she could kind of get an idea of what our day was going to look like. We both found it really helpful because we can certainly get sidetracked when we're trying to work on something together. I also kind of mapped out different areas of our house we may want to tackle in other videos soon. The comment feature and being able to set reminders on my weekly planner is super handy too, to make sure I don't forget anything when I'm heading out the door. It really makes me feel like I have it all together and organized. I will have the link in my description box below to my Xtiles template if you'd like to check it out, so feel free to explore my digital planner for additional resources, tools, and support in your own decluttering journey. You can create an account for free and then use my template or create your own. And I just want to say a big thank you to Xtiles for sponsoring today's video. Like I was saying before, typically when I do a decluttering project, I'll take everything out and then I will go through all the items. But my mom was going through them as I was taking them out since it was her stuff, so you won't always see us sorting it. Sometimes she was just taking things and putting them right on the donation bin or right where we were piling up all the trash, and we weren't sorting them all together. I wanted to show you guys an overview of how much stuff we pulled out of just that one cabinet alone. There was so much stuffed in there. One decluttering tip I wanted to throw out there is to not waste your time trying to organize clutter. There are only so many space-saving organization tricks that you can try, and sometimes you just need less stuff, and the space will never function unless you part with some of the items inside. I have never seen so many magnets in my life. My mom had this whole bin full of magnets, and then also the ones that she's holding, that was mostly magnets, and it was so funny. I don't know how anyone could ever need so many magnets, but she had a lot of them, and she ended up going through that bin later on her own after we finished all of the bigger decluttering, and she picked the ones that she wanted to keep. My mom had a lot of things in her cabinets that were just not being used. Like, for example, she had a super old bacon press, and while it was cool and it was antique, she just never reached for it, and it got me thinking about all the products that are marketed to us that we just don't need, and we fall victim to a lot of the time, thinking that they'll make our lives easier or more convenient, but we never end up reaching for them. When it really comes down to it, we don't need all that much to get by, no matter what social media tells us. I have never been a big fan of these spin around cabinets or Lazy Susans. I just feel like stuff gets shoved in the back and you can't see it, and it's also kind of hard to get to. You can see it's a very cramped little space right here, right next to the fridge. So this was just completely full of stuff that my mom was never using. We were able to get rid of a ton of this. Torture device.
What?
This? What is this?
Oh, it's a meat grinder. Chunks of meat in it, and you go like this.
When are you grinding meat, Mom?
If you don't like cats, you have come to the wrong place, because they were all up in our business while we were trying to declutter on both days 1 and 2. Every single time we emptied a cabinet, they were immediately inside of it. Also, this spray that I was using, I think it's a Method, like anti-bac, all-purpose cleaner or something like that. But it was choking me up so bad. I would spray it into these cabinets and start wiping it down, and like the fumes would get into my lungs or something, and I could not stop coughing. This spin around ended up cleaning up pretty good, but the other one you guys will see in a minute was very, very dirty, and I think it needs something a lot more aggressive than this cleaner. So I think next time I come back, I'll bring like magic erasers and some other stuff to try and see if I can get the other one clean. Something so funny as I was going through all of these cabinets is that I kept pulling out home videos. My mom had little like tapes and VHSs and stuff from when we were babies all over her kitchen, like in all the different cabinets. And it's like, how did they end up in so many different places and didn't have just like one solid home for all of them to go to? It was pretty funny. But also she had just jars and glasses full of sea glass. I've never seen so much sea glass in my life. I don't know how she collected so much sea glass. I don't know why she collected so much sea glass, but we pulled sea glass out of pretty much every single one of her cabinets. This pile right here was all stuff that my mom was going to give away. So I think I told you guys this in the last video, but what she does is she takes all of the items that she wants to donate and she puts them out on a table in her front yard. She posts it on Facebook and people just come by and take stuff. And that has worked really well for her. And then whatever's left, they take to the donation center. I also did this when I did my basement declutter, and it was so helpful to get the bulk of the items out. And then you only have to take a few things to go donate instead of like an entire trunk load of things. So this is the other spin around cabinet that I was talking about. This one is so dirty, and I really tried to scrub it with hot water and that anti-bac cleaner, but it was doing nothing, I'm pretty sure. So next time I come back to clean the kitchen, I'm going to try something a little bit stronger. If you guys have any suggestions, I think I'm going to try magic erasers. Those typically work really well. But other than that, I'm really not sure. Maybe some soft scrub or something. But if you guys have any suggestions for what could get all of these stains off, then let me know what they are. I forget the backstory of where my mom got all this stuff, but she said that it's just been sitting in this cardboard box for years now. So we went through it all and we figured out what we wanted to keep and what she wanted to get rid of. We didn't put the knives outside with the donations or anything dangerous because that just seemed kind of scary. So we just put those aside, and my dad is going to take care of those separately. Now we are going through my mom's drawers. These were completely stuffed with things. You couldn't see anything, you couldn't find anything. So we went through each and every single individual item. If she had multiples of the same thing, I had her pick which one she liked better. but she did keep quite a bit, but she also decluttered quite a bit. We ended up with one drawer that was pretty much empty, so I would say that we did pretty well. I feel like these drawers are really, really slim. I'm not sure how we would organize them better. So when we were organizing everything back into it, the top drawer, we did anything that was dangerous because my mom does have many grandkids now and we don't want the babies to get anything dangerous, so they all went into the top drawer. And then the second drawer down was like baking supplies, so like measuring cups and things along those lines. The third drawer is the one that ended up empty, and then the very bottom she stores like plastic bags and trash bags and things like that. I'm checking a few things off of my Xtiles template so far. So containers missing lids, excess food packaging, broken or chipped mugs, plates, and bowls. We've got expired food. We've now gone through the utensils. We've gotten rid of a bunch of broken appliances. We made so much progress on day 2. We ended up pulling this bottom drawer out entirely because my mom was pretty sure that some stuff had fallen back behind the drawer, and then I had my younger brother come in and reach back there to grab those things because I was not about to put my hand back there. Who knows what was lurking inside. My mom wanted to clean everything that was inside of this drawer, so she took out her utensil organizer and we went through everything that was inside of there, and then we didn't end up putting anything back into the drawer because she wanted to give it a good clean. So this cabinet right here is where my parents are storing their pots and pans and baking tins and things like that. But there was actually a leak in their dishwasher before they got their new one, and it caused some damage on the side of the cabinet and they did not replace it. So unfortunately this cabinet is like falling apart, and it actually made me so sad. I didn't realize how bad it was until we took everything out, but it's like eroding away and it's really dipped in, and anyway, it just made me kind of sad. So hopefully we can fix that or something in an upcoming video. I would love to be able to fix that for them somehow. If you guys have any suggestions besides completely replacing the cabinet, let me know. My parents do want to potentially build a house and downsize, so at that point it wouldn't really matter because I'm sure that whoever moves into this house would end up taking out the kitchen and starting fresh. But in the meantime, I would like it to be a little bit more functional for them. And then when they decide whether or not they're going to build, if they build, then we won't touch the cabinets. But if they decide to stay in their house, then I think my parents would like to renovate the kitchen. As we were going through everything, we were trying to collect all the trash so that we didn't accidentally mix up anything that was trash versus things that were to be donated or given away. We ended up filling up 4 full trash bags. It was crazy. There was so much stuff. I did not get a proper before shot of this cabinet, but you really couldn't see anything that was in it because it's so dark and so narrow. But the amount of stuff that she managed to stuff in there was just so funny to me. And I think she had probably like 50 oven mitts down here. I've never seen so many oven mitts in my life. It was pretty funny as I was pulling them all out. You might wonder how somebody collects like 50 plus oven mitts, and I truthfully don't know. I don't have that answer for you, but I would imagine that she was gifted quite a few of them, and then she had some for like different seasons and stuff like that. So again, I don't have the answer, but there was so many oven mitts. Most of the oven mitts did end up being trash. They were either just really, really yucky, or they were ones that she says burns her hands and they didn't really do the job anyway, and we don't want to give those away. So these upper cabinets ended up being so funny because of the stuff that we found inside of them. So my mom was keeping, like I said, home videos all over her house. So we found a bunch of those. We also found old books that my older brother had written and printed out and stapled together and put in folders. So we were reading some of his old books. That was pretty funny. And then we found a pile of papers that were actually printouts from when I was in I must have been in 5th grade, and I was being bullied, and my mom had printed out all of the AOL Instant Messenger messages I had received from my bully so she could bring them into the school for the principal. So we found all those. Like I said, I don't think she's ever decluttered in the entire 37 years they've lived in this house. So just the stuff that we were pulling out of there was so funny that she kept all these years. And then you will see it, but we found some teeth. They looked to me like they were animal teeth, so I don't know if at some point she had a cat that like lost teeth and she was saving their teeth for some reason, but she had no idea where the teeth came from, had no recollection of ever saving any teeth, but I just kept pulling teeth out of the cabinet and we were laughing so hard.
Whose tooth is that? It's like a cat tooth.
It might be a cat. That's like made me sick.
It's a tooth. I touched it. Oh, there's another tooth.
What? What kind?
There's more teeth! Mom, there's like, oh,
They must have been in something and then
there's
they
a
fell
whole
out.
bunch of teeth. Oh my gosh.
Once we finished going through all of the cabinets for the day, I did one last round of collecting trash and throwing it into the trash bag. And then we were double checking everything that we were going to put outside on the table to give away and like what was being donated and all of that. And so once I bag up all this trash, I'm going to show you guys the before and afters of all the spaces that we decluttered today. So here is the after of some of the upper cabinets. I didn't have a proper before of these cabinets right here, but this is before of the cabinet she was storing like mostly lunchbox things and stuff like that. And this is the after. She only kept one thing. And then we've got the before of one of her spin arounds. It was completely full. You could barely even turn it. And then the super satisfying after of it looking so much better, so much less clutter. And now she has storage space for some other things. Here are all the befores and afters of all the other spaces that we decluttered on this day. Like I said before, I think we spent like a solid 5 hours decluttering, so we made so much progress, and my parents put everything that they wanted to give away out on a table outside, and pretty much one lady, she said, came and took like 99% of it, which I don't know what that lady's going to be doing with all of it, but I'm just glad that somebody took it, and it's out of my parents' house, and their kitchen is looking so much less cluttered. I'm sure it feels amazing to be able to see everything that they have. Things aren't getting lost anymore, and the organization is just a little bit more functional than it was before. And now here's an overview of everything that was decluttered out of their house. All of this that was on the kitchen table was stuff that my parents put outside to give away. That stuff in the box my dad disposed of somewhere, I'm really not sure, but that was everything that was dangerous. And then you will see the 4 bags of trash that we had as well. So anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you some motivation, some tips for decluttering. Don't forget to check out Xtiles and my template, and all of that will be in my description box down below. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you are notified of any of my future uploads. It would make me so happy if you choose to join my little YouTube community that I have going over here. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you again next week for another video.